If Time Killers was a movie, plot changes and casting calls by Ryan Baker. What if one of the most bizarre, brutal, and gloriously bonkers fighters games of the 90s made its way to the silver screen? Time Killers, the cult classic arcade bloodbath where historical warriors hack off limbs across timelines, is a perfect candidate for a wild sci-fi action movie with grindhouse flair and multiverse madness. But how would it translate to film? Let's break down the potential plot, the necessary tweaks, and of course, the dream casting. The plot, Reforged in Fire. The movie adaptation ditches a traditional tournament setup for a high-stakes multiversal deception thriller. Plot summary. The film opens with death and the eternal force locked in battle with life, enacting a sinister new plan. Manipulate the timeline by abducting the world's greatest warriors at the moment of their greatest victory. Posing as Kronos, master of time, Death tells each warrior they must defeat evil across time to save reality and earn immortality, but it's all a lie. The real goal, make them eliminate each other, weakening the life force so Death can finally dominate all that is. Each warrior is dropped into a deadly new reality where they must fight or die. As alliances form and betrayals mount, the surviving champions learn to discover the truth. The tournament is a trap, and Death awaits as the final boss. Only by working together, embracing the life they left behind, can they challenge the embodiment of oblivion. The characters and casting calls. Lord Wolf, the Haunted Knight. A noble warrior from Camelot, Wolf is tormented by the loss of his family and fueled by vengeance. Wields Excalibur and bears the weight of legacy. Cast Henry Cavill. With his Arthurian gravitas and sword-swinging experience, he's perfect for this battle-scarred noble. Leif the Viking, the wandering hero. A larger-than-life Norseman, known for his epic tales and epic battles. His final act of sacrifice made him a legend. Cast Alexander Skarsgård, muscular, stoic, and Viking royalty. Matrix, the future soldier. A hardened warrior from a robotic apocalypse with a plasma sword and bionic arm. Matrix is cool, calculating, and haunted by duty. Cast Charlize Theron. Her figure also vibes and action chops make her the ideal choice. Orion, a genetic rebel, a test-tube-born space officer who turns on his creators after uncovering the truth, uses a glowing energy saber. Cast John Boyega, passionate, intense, and sci-fi savvy. Flug, the prehistoric powerhouse, a caveman who defends his people from alien slavers, primal, loyal, and unstoppable in the fight. Cast Dave Bautista, physically perfect and able to bring nuance to a brute. Rancid, the Chainsaw Avenger, a 2020 street punk framed for a serial killing he didn't commit, fights with a chainsaw major attitude. Cast Evan Peters, edgy, wild-eyed, and unpredictable. Mantas, the alien queen, a mantis-like mutant from the distant future, regal and terrifying, fights with claws and intellect. Cast Tilda Swinton with VFX, unearthly presence and gravitas. Musashi, the cursed samurai, a warrior haunted by failure, seeks vengeance against a dragon that destroys his army. Dual wields katanas. Cast Hiroyuki Sanada, brings authenticity and intensity. Death/Kronos, the master of deceit, timeless, manipulative, and terrifying. Orchestrates the entire blood sport in a bid to eliminate life forever. Cast Ray Fiennes, voiced like thunder, presence like doom. Plot changes and modernization. A unified narrative. Instead of individual arcade paths, the path movie would center on a small core group realizing their pawns in a grander game. Themes of regret and redemption. Each warrior is not just strong, they're broken, tempted, and try to make peace with the past. Body horror and brutality. Keep the over its top limb chopping and death moves to a stylized violence akin to Mortal Kombat 2021 and The Boys. Twist ending. One hero strikes out death, only to be tempted by its power. Sequel beat? Absolutely. Tone and style. Fake Mad Max Fury Road meets Highlander meets Mortal Kombat, with a pulsing synth metal soundtrack and surreal, time-jumping visuals. Every time period gets a distinct style, from feudal Japan's misty forests to neon-scorched future wastelands. Final thoughts? Time Killers has all the ingredients for a bloody, brilliant sci-fi epic. Diverse characters, mythic stakes, and enough weirdness to stand out. With the right team, it could be a cult classic all over again, this time on screen. Now the only question is, who's ready to fight death itself? Hey there, fantasy and science fiction fan lovers. If you can't get enough of mystical realms, futuristic worlds, and thrilling adventures, then you come to the right place. By subscribing to fantasy and science fiction at Story Nori, you gain access to an amazing collection of stories that will transport you to realms beyond your imagination. By hitting that subscribe button, you'll never miss out on the latest tales of wizards, time travels, space exploration, and so much more. Our channel is dedicated to bringing you the best in fantasy and science fiction storytelling, and we're always adding new and exciting content for you to enjoy. But that's not all. By subscribing, you'll be also becoming part of our incredible community of fellow fantasy and sci-fi enthusiasts. You'll be first to know about the latest content for the channel that you won't find anywhere else. So what are you waiting for? Join us on this epic journey into the unknown by subscribing to fantasy and science fiction at Story Nori. Today, your next thrilling adventure awaits. Right, hit that subscribe button and let the storytelling begin. Thank you for being part of our amazing community. We can't wait to share even more incredible stories with you.